My name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 9. I enjoy a good game of golf, but as much as I like to golf, I must say there are very few times when I leave the golf course feeling good about the way I played the game. The reason I would always feel bad about my game was I was looking at this thing called the scorecard. On most golf courses, par is set somewhere between 70 and 72. To shoot 30 over par was not an unusual day of golf for me. And as I walked off the course, my scorecard was telling me something I really didn't want to hear. I'm a terrible golfer. But one day, watching a broadcast of a golf tournament on television, I realized I was using the wrong criteria for determining how good a golfer I really was. As I was listening to the commentator's remarks, I heard things like, "He hit a beautiful putt, it just didn't go in. That was a good shot, it just came up short." And players would say in their interviews, "I hit the ball solid all day, but I just couldn't get the ball to go where I wanted it to go. I'm happy with the way I played, I just couldn't get it to roll in the hole." And wow, what a revelation. I was always under the misguided assumption that good shots landed in the fairway, but apparently not. When I hit a putt that didn't go in, I thought for some reason it must have been a bad putt. It never dawned on me that a good putt wouldn't necessarily go in. I was beginning to see it's not how you play the game, it's how you talk about how you play the game that really matters. So let me try. I hit a beautiful putt, it just didn't go in. I hit the ball solid all day, but I just didn't show up on the scorecards. I'm starting to like this. So when I hear these pros say, "I'm happy with the way I played, I just couldn't get it to go into the hole," now I say, really? Me too. All of a sudden, I'm starting to sound like a pretty good golfer. Forget the practice green. I'll think I'll go home and reread Why Bad Things Happen to Good People. Subtitled, Why Good Putts Don't Always Go In. Apparently it's not the score, it's how you feel about how you play that matters. Where is it? Keep in mind the people who are saying these things in their interviews are the losers. Being able to put a good spin on a bad game of golf does not change the final outcome. You didn't win. The winners are determined by the scorecard, not by who felt they played the best. Isn't it amazing how we can justify ourselves? How good we are at making a terrible round of golf sound like we did everything right, but the ball or the course or the wind just didn't cooperate? But that is how we are getting in our society. But the same is true in Christianity. There are no style points for trying to do the best we can with God. I try to love, I try to go to church, I try to read my Bible, I do my best. I really did some good things last week that made me feel good about myself. And that's what our verse in Proverbs is asking us. Proverbs 20, verse 9. Who can say, "I have made my heart pure, I am clean from my sin"? It's kind of like saying, who can say, "I am a good golfer, I feel good about my game"? Well, obviously anybody can say it. It just depends on how we keep score. Who can say, "I have made my heart pure, I am clean from my sin"? Anybody can say it. But is it true? It's not true. When we stand before God, He's going to ask us not how we feel we did here on earth. The scorecard says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God in Romans 3:23. The final verdict is already in. We are guilty, lost sinners who sinned and continue to sin daily and have fallen short of being perfect in God's eyes and have no one to blame but ourselves. And there's nothing we can do to fix it. It doesn't matter how we feel about it. The verdict is guilty. The only answer is Jesus Christ. Our only hope is Christ. He perfectly kept God's standard, the law, and paid the penalty for all our sin on the cross. We cannot add anything to what Christ has done. He said it is finished. So all we can do is reach out with an empty hand, bringing our sin and nothing else to the cross, and He will save us. We're not saved by our works. We're saved by the work of Christ. And when we place our faith in Him, He will forgive us from every sin, past, present, and future. Those who seek to justify themselves, who hide their sin behind a good feeling, may feel good about themselves here on earth. But when they go to the scorer's table, all He's going to look at is the scorecards. All the good talk and all the good feelings may make us feel better about ourselves, about how we're living and how we've lived and what we've done. But that doesn't change the facts. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So who can say I have made my heart pure? I'm clean from my sin. Anybody can say it. But the reality is there's only one person that can do it, and it's Christ. And we receive that gift of eternal life as we place our life in his hands and say, Lord, I know I'm a sinner. I want you to cleanse my heart. It is cleansed because of the work of Christ on the cross, as we've already said. We receive that gift by faith. And one day we're going to stand before God clothed in the perfect righteousness of Christ. And you'll say, enter in, well done, good and faithful servant. And to him will be the glory. Saved by grace and grace alone. Saved through his merit and his merit alone. So may these truths guide us and guard us today as we live in the trenches of life to the good of others and the glory of God. God bless.